Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on multiple linear regression. So these are the packages that we're going to use: MAS, dplyr, okay, for data manipulation, ggplot2 for plotting, and others class. These are LM test is used for testing diagnostics. Okay, caret can be used for stepwise regression. Okay, as we go on class, we're going to make use of the functionalities of these packages. Now, the data that we used is the data that comes from the MAS package, the Boston. And we took a look at this last time. Okay, we downloaded the data. Okay, and it's here. Thus, as we said that in your environment, there are two types of data. Data, which can include a data frame, a list. This is a list class, or values. Values, on the other hand, are they're more they're vectors containing singular one type of data. Okay, so we looked at the Boston data set, okay, from the MAS package, and it's important, class, that when you're using a data set, make sure you understand what the variables stand for. Okay, so we looked at the variables in that: CRIM, which is per capita crime; zone; indus, which is a proportion of non-retail business; okay, and there are other there are other variables here. So we loaded this. So let me just uh, show this here. Okay, and what we did last time was we said that some of the variables here, if we check the structure, okay, so let me rerun this df, and then structure of df. And let me just wait for the structure. Structure, okay, here. It's a data frame, and you can see here that most of the variables are numerical, but we said that some of the variables here, like this uh, chas, which is 0, which means that it does not touch the boundary of the Charles River. Okay, and here also, there are other variables here that we can use as factors. So what we did last time was to convert this chas and also the age, okay? Because the age could be classified as more than 50 years old or less than 50 years old. Okay, so we're warranted, where possible, you can convert numerical variables into factors. Okay, so just like this one, the age, we set what we did was to convert this into a factor. Of course, we could have retained age as a numerical variable. Okay, we just have to decide logically and with reason if you're going to convert a variable into a factor. Okay, so how did we do that? Okay, from the data set df, which is the Boston actually, df dollar chase, and then we converted it as that factor, df dollar chase. So if I run this, okay, and then I get the structure, can now see that chase is now a factor with two levels, okay, 0 and 1. And how do you check, class? How do you check what are the levels? Because the data, the variable has 0 and 1. Okay, so here, table, Where's the table? Here. Where's that? Here, class. 0, 471, and 135. Zero, zero means that this area, this residence does not bound the Charles River. So there's a river apparently here. There's a river in Boston where some of the residences bound or are close or yeah bound the Charles River and others do not. There are only 35. So what we did was to convert it into a factor. Okay, and then we check the levels. Okay, class, sandali lang ah. Sorry, I just need to answer some on the door. Pause ko muna yung recording. Okay, we can check the levels, class, here, or we can assign the levels of the chess variable. Okay, no and yes. So we can make it yes and no. What will happen is that the order here is important because the first one, the no, will be the benchmark. Okay. The default is always, even if we don't do this, the default is that the level that appears alphabetically, that is alphabetically first, will be the benchmark. So even if we don't do this, class, R will default that no will be the benchmark. Okay, and yes, the no will be the benchmark. All right. Okay, and last time we said that we can convert this into a proportion. Okay, how did we do that? We created this object T1, which is just the table of your chess variable, and then subject this T1 to a proportion that table. Okay, and then we just rounded this off. Okay, so if I run this, everything here, Control Enter, you can see here that it prints both the T1, okay, and also the proportion. 93% is 0 and 7% is yes, which means 93% of the observation of the data uh, does not bound Charles River, only 7% does. Okay, we'll get back to this later, class. We can change the releveling. If you want that the benchmark is yes instead of no, then we can perform this. We replace, it's the same variable, but we use relevel. Okay, relevel, and then we change reference to be equal to yes. Okay, so it's a matter of choice, which do you want to be your benchmark. Okay, let's deal with that later. Okay, and then we said that the age can be can be converted into a uh, factor. So what we did was to use the cut function. Okay, if you want to change it into, if you want to convert it into two groups, then we should have three breakpoints here. So negative infinity to 50, that's one. Okay, and then 50 to infinity, that's another one. So it will create two groupings out of that. Okay, so let's run this, class. Okay, let me go back here first. Structure of DF. So now we have Chase is now factor, but we have here the age is numeric. So what we can do, so these are the ages of the residences. Okay, so we can make it, if it's greater than 50, then it's old. If it's less than 50, then it's new. So that's what we did here. Okay, up to 50, that will be new. Okay, less than 50, and then greater than 50, that will be old. So if you run this, Control Enter, and then we get once again the structure, you notice now that, okay, what we did here was to create a new variable. Okay, df data frame age underscore group here. And we still maintain the age. Okay, that's why we'll be reviewing now the multiple linear regression. So let's see the proportion of our new and old. Okay, I'll make this round and just two decimal places. Okay, so we're creating this object called T2, which is the uh, how many how many are under the new and old. And by the way, class, with reference to new and old, okay, here labels are new and old. Again, new is alphabetically ahead of old, so new will be the reference, the benchmark level. Okay, so if we run this, I'll just run this. Okay, so 29% are new, 71% are old, which tells us that most of the houses are more than 50 years of age. All right. Okay, so we did here, I will not run this anymore. These are just the summary statistics. Okay, these are again the variables. So we have here age and we have age group here. Okay, now what we did last time was to have our first linear regression model. And this was our regression model. We called it full model one, okay? And we use the function LM. LM stands for linear model. So how do we do this? We we uh, we put here the dependent variable. We said that this model calls for coming up with a model for the median value of the houses. So we'd like to create a model where we associate the median value of the houses with these factors, and then we create a model whereby we can predict the median value of the house. Okay, this is your dependent variable, and these are your independent variables. Now let me rerun this and show you something, class. Control Enter. Kasama yung summary. The summary will print out here. So we can see that many of the variables are 3 stars. What do these 3 stars mean? Here, you can take a look at this. 3 stars stand for it is significant at 0.001 or that's 0.1%. So highly significant yan. 2 stars, significant at 1% significance level. 1 star, and this is usually the standard level of significance is 5%. Okay? And then if you have a dot, it means that it's significant only at 10%. And if there's nothing there, then it's not significant. So there are variables here that are not significant. Okay, age group, and then age, and then the industrial. Okay. Uh, Now, you notice, class, that uh, I made a mistake here. Why? Kasi yung age na to, class, notice that the probability is very high, no? It's the same actually as this one, yung age group old. Isn't it that we converted age into a factor? So I totally forgot that the age was still there last time. So ito, class, mali ito, ah. Okay? So that's why both are not significant. Okay? Because they're highly correlated. Because age group old came from age. Okay? It's the same actually. Only that we we created what we call dummy variables here. Okay? So let me once again, sandali, ah. May message ba? Okay. So a it's now time for me to discuss yung dummy variables, no? Okay, take a look at this one, class. RDF. Okay. Here, class, you have DF, no? You have age group. Okay. And then we said that this one is old and new, and these are factors. And by default, okay, R will make new as your benchmark variable, okay, or reference variable, and old will be your it will not be your sorry, new will be your reference variable, reference level. Why? Because new appears first alphabetically. Now, let me discuss that factors further. Suppose we have a variable where the levels are, let's say, uh, let's make it. Okay, let me use another data type. Okay, let's say these are students, and let's say year level. So you have a variable year level. So you have here, let's say sophomore, sophomore again. Let's say you have these are the students, and then frosh, and then junior, and then junior again, and then senior, and maybe another one graduating. Okay, so these are your students, and you have here their year levels: sophomore, sophomore, frosh, okay, etc. Okay, question: can we treat this class as a factor? Can we treat this as a factor? Yes or no, class? If this is your variable, let's say year level, can this be treated as a factor? Yes or yes, class? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Adrian. The answer is yes, of course, class. Yes. Remember, factors are used, class, for classification. Okay, so we can classify a student as frost, sophomore, etc. And what's the use of factors, class? We can now differentiate the effect of your year level on your dependent variable. Let's say our variable is GPA. Okay, so if GPA is our year level, is our variable, then maybe we can differentiate the effect of your year level on your GPA. Okay, so how do we convert this now into a factor? So it depends on how many levels you have. How many levels are there here? Frosh, sophomore, junior, senior, and graduating. There are five levels, Clay. Frost, sophomore, junior, senior, and graduating. The question is, how many dummy variables are we going to have there? It is always the number of levels minus one. So we will be creating four, we call it dummy variables. Dummy variables here. In this case, class, age group natin, how many dummy variables do you have here? Question, how many levels, class? Because it's either less than 50 or 50 or more, right? So there are two levels for age group here. So how many dummy variables? It's 2 minus 1. You only have one dummy variable. Okay, so that's why you have only here one dummy variable. If you have five levels, okay, five levels, just like this year level, then you'll have to introduce four dummy variables. Okay, what do you mean by dummy variables? Okay, so let's first determine which among these will be your benchmark variable. Your benchmark variable will be the one, class, that appears first alphabetically. So which one is your dummy variable here? Reference variable, I mean, benchmark variable. Kindly chat, please, class. Which one will be our benchmark? Okay, thank you, Richard. It will be Frosh, of course. Frosh appears first alphabetically, even if it does not appear first in the order of your data. Okay. So frosh will be your reference variable, and we will have four dummy variables. How will your dummy variable look like? Your dummy variable class will be the levels. So dummy variable one will be, let's say, sophomore. Dummy variable two will be your junior. Dummy variable three will be your senior. And dummy variable four will be your graduating. Okay. So what happens is that four new variables are created. And these are called dummy variables. Okay. And how do we create them? The first one here is sophomore. So therefore, 1 siya dito, the rest 0 siya. Okay, so you can now see how sophomore is represented. Okay, four dummy variables. Sophomore will receive 1, the rest will be 0. Sophomore again here, so 1, 0, 0, 0. How about frosh? Frosh is your benchmark variable, right? Benchmark level. So this will be 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, because frosh appears first. Okay, how about junior here? This would be 0, junior is 1, senior is 0, 0. Again, junior here, 0, 1, 0, 0. Senior here is 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, graduating is 0, 0, 0, 1. Again, sophomore 0, 1 here, 1, 0, 0, 0, etc. So you notice that all the levels are covered, including the frosh. The frosh will be represented by 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay? So when you're introducing dummy variables, you do not include all the levels. Okay? Kasi pwede natin ilagay yung frosh dito, di ba? Frosh. Your frosh now will receive 1, 1 here, and the rest will be 0. But this will create what we call a dummy variable trap. Okay, lagay ko dummy, D, dummy variable trap. What will result, class, if you have a dummy variable trap? You will have what we call multicollinearity. Okay, and that will not work, class. So remember, class, when you're creating factors, you have to know the levels of the factor. If there are two levels, then madali. Only one dummy variable. If there are three factors, three levels, then you'll have two dummy variables. Again, which will be the reference variable, the one that appears first alphabetically. Okay, so just like here in the level, in this variable, year level to, no? Year level, it's the frosh that appears alphabetically first. So this will be the benchmark, this will be the reference. So it will not be included here. The other levels will now have their own. They will now be your dummy variables. Is frosh captured? Yes. So if this is 0, 0, 0, 0, all are 0 here, then that's frosh. So maka-capture din siya. Okay? So that's how you create dummy variables. Okay, in the case of yung chas natin, take note, ito yung chas natin, di ba? Asa na si chas? Here. 0, 0, and 1. 0 is no. Okay? 1 is yes. Bakit 0, class? Remember, this will be your benchmark. Okay? Kapag benchmark ka, 0 siya. And your yes, kasi no or yes to, di ba? No, no or yes. Okay? So, nagkataon na no to, class, no? Okay? It doesn't matter which appears first. The question is which is first alphabetically. So no is first alphabetically, class. So that gets the 0 value. And then yes gets the 1. Okay, let me pause for a while, class. Is that clear? Yung pag-create ng dummy variable, class. Importante dong, class, yung the number of levels minus 1. Okay? In order for us to not to commit multicollinearity or the dummy variable trap. Comment, please. Thank you. Thank you, Gab. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. Okay, Jerry Lane, thank you. Aika, Richard, yes, good. Thank you. I hope the others are Able to follow. James, thank you. All right, so let's now move on. Let me clear the drawings. Okay, here. Okay, now let's go back to our model. And I said, class, that, okay, my mistake was I totally forgot that we have our age here, okay, and then we have our age group here. And age group is actually came from the variable age, okay. Okay, so we'll fix that. Okay. And we said last time that another way to write this is if you're including all the variables, then just tilde and then that. Okay. So, but we have to correct. So I'm going to copy this first, Control C, and then put it here. Kindly copy, class, and then we'll just change here. Control V. All right. And then uh, let's just put here exclude age, no? Age variable. Okay, so I'm going to remove this class, remove age. Okay, because this age group here represents your age. Okay, and let's make it let's just call it full model. Okay, full model here. Okay, then let's run this class. I'm going to delete this. Don't need that anymore. Okay, let's run this class. Note age is no longer here. Control Enter. And there you go, class. Okay, no more age, class. And you can see now that age group old is still not significant. Okay, quickly, let's take a look at this and review the interpretation. Okay, let's review the interpretation. Okay, first is the cream variable. So this is the number of crimes per capita, I think. Let's go back. Let me just be sure. Cream is per capita crime rate, okay? Per capita crime rate. Number of crimes by the population. All right, so let's interpret this, class. Negative point, uh, just approximate it, negative 0.11. Okay, and remember our dependent variable is median value. Okay, this is our dependent variable. And what's the meaning of med-v? Can somebody please just chat in the chat box so that I don't need to remove the drawing, please? Meaning of med-v, class? What does median value in terms of what, class? Can somebody please paste here in the chat box the meaning of med-v? Hello, sa Boston, class. Actual value, okay? Sige, actual value. All right. So how do we now interpret this? First of all, notice that it is statistically significant at 0.1%. Okay? Significant siya at, sorry, not 0.1%, but 1%, class. 2 stars, 1%. Pag 3 stars, class, 0.1%. Okay, so on the average, okay, on the average, a one unit, okay, 1 unit increase in per capita crime, okay, a 1 unit increase in per capita crime. If crime rate per capita increases by 1 unit, then the median value of the house, okay, decreases by 0.11. Actual value ba to or in thousands to? Can somebody please tell me? In thousands ba yan? Yung median value? Kindly check, class. Because when we interpret it, we have to make sure that it's interpreted according to the value of the variable. Class, please. In thousands yan. In thousands, okay? Hindi lang in dollars, no? In thousands of dollars. Okay, so let's repeat the interpretation. On the average, class, a 1 unit increase in crime rate. So we're taking a look at the marginal effect of crime rate on your dependent variable. What is the dependent variable? Median value in thousands of dollars. Okay, so a 1 unit per capita increase in crime rate will result into 0.11 or 0.108 or 0.11 na lang, no? 0.1, $0.11 decrease, class. 0.11 thousand dollars decrease in the median value of the house. Ceteris paribus. You have to put that ceteris paribus, which means that all other things being equal. What does this mean, class? I said that if crime rate increases by one unit per capita, then median value of the house decreases by $0.11 thousand. Okay, ceteris paribus, which means the others remain the same. So you're not increasing the zone by one, you're not increasing chase by one, etc. Okay, all others remain the same. Only crime is to be increased by 1 unit. Okay, all right. Then how about zone, class? Zone. It's also significant at 0.1%. So what does this mean? Okay, a 1 unit increase in the proportion of residential land zoned for lots over 25,000 square foot. I'll just call it zone. A 1 unit increase in zone will result into a $0.044 thousand increase in median value. Okay? Ceteris paribus, and it's statistically significant. Okay? Indus. What's Indus, class? Indus is, ano yung Indus, class? Paki-chat na lang, please. What's Indus? Kindly chat, please, class. Proportion of non-retail. Okay, so percent ng non-retail business, no? So ibig sabihin nun, ah pag nag-increase tong indus na to, it means that non-retail business, proportion of non-retail business increases. A 1 unit increase in the proportion of non-retail business. So how do we interpret this? A 1 unit increase in non-retail business, class, will result into a $0.018 thousand increase in median value, ceteris paribus. However, class, this is not statistically significant. Yun. So insignificant to, class. Insignificant. So we do not interpret it as such, no? Okay? This is not reliable, class. We cannot say that indeed median value will increase by 0.185. Why is that so? Because this is not statistically significant. And what does that mean? It is possible that this value is equal to 0, class. So pwedeng 0 yan. So pag 0 yan, class, walang effect si Indus kay median value. Alright. Then let's go to Knox, class. Knox. Kay Chaswa na tayo later magano. Kay sino naman si Knox, class? And significant. Knox is the level of nitric oxide present in the air. nitric oxide class, poison yan. Okay? So, what does this mean? A 1 unit increase in the presence of NOx class. So, pag nag-increase si NOx ng 1 unit, what happens? The median value of the house is reduced by 17,000. Okay? 17,000. So, ang laki ng effect ng NOx class. 17,000 class, median value of the house. Ceteris paribus, all things being the same. And it's highly significant at 0.1%. Okay, thank you. Class, yung attendance, laging sa dulo na class, no? Para, always yan class, pag na late kayo, mamaya na yung attendance. Do not, wag na muna kayo mag-chat class, no? Kasi na ano yung flow natin. Okay. So, saan na tayo class? Okay, RM. Ano ibig sabihin ng RM class? Room yata to, no? Number of rooms. Highly significant na naman class. What does this mean? For every 1 unit increase in the room of a residence, okay, the median value of your house increases by 3.86 thousand. $3.86 thousand, ceteris paribus. Okay, radius, distance yata from any average distance from any business area. So a 1 unit increase in radius results into a $0.3 thousand increase in median value. Ceteris paribus. So positive to class, ibig sabihin, pag tumaas si radius class, okay, tumataas din yung median value. Pag tumaas si NOx class, bumababa yung median value. Okay? All right. So let me clear this. Okay. So saan pa tayo, class? Ito, class. Ito population yata ng black. So I leave you, class, to yung tax naman pag tumaas yung tax, class, the value of median value of the house decreases by $0.01 thousand dollars. A 1 unit increase in tax. Okay, whatever that is. So ililik lagi natin, class, sa meaning ng variable na to. Okay, let's go here, class, dito sa CHAS. Dalawang factors natin. So what does this mean, class? Itong factor na to. Notice, class, CHAS 1. Saan nagaling CHAS 1? Let's review our data, CDF. Okay. Di ba yung data natin, class, CHAS 0 or 1? 0 is no, class. Diba? Tapos ang 1 dyan, yes. So ibig sabihin 1 bounds the Charles River. Dyan, i-mute kita dyan. Mute kita dyan.
No.
Okay, so where are we now, class? Ito. Yung CHAS na to, no? So how do we interpret this? Okay. Yung CHAS, take note, class, CHAS and then 1. What does this mean, class? This is the value, class, of the median value of the house in thousands of dollars with reference to yung 0, class, yung not bounding Charles River. Okay? So when you interpret factors, class, you interpret it this way. And this is highly significant, no? Significant at 1%. On the average, class, the median value of houses that bound the Charles River is $2.7 thousand higher than those that do not bound the Charles River. Let me repeat that, class. So when you interpret factors, you compare CHAS 1. It means that it bounds the Charles River, di ba? Saan mo i-compare? Where do we compare it? CHAS 0, those that do not bound the Charles River. So let me repeat the interpretation. On the average, CHAS residential houses that bound Charles River, okay, are $2,700 more. They're priced $2,700 more than their counterparts, the residences that do not bound Charles River, ceteris paribus. Okay? And it's highly significant at point one. All right, so very important yung class, no? When you when you interpret factors, you interpret it always with reference to your benchmark. So class, balikan natin example natin kanina. If you have year level here, kunyari, may variable tayo na year level. What will happen, class, when when you have your regression output? You will have four here. Year level sophomore, for example, year level junior, year level senior, year level graduating. Okay. And when you interpret that, it's always with reference in comparison with your benchmark variable, which is your frosh. As an example, class, kunyari, no? Kunyari, yung year level, kunyari lalabas na, no? Kunyari, this is how you name your variable. Year level and then sophomore. Okay, year level, let's say junior. Okay, and let's say the value of this is, let's say, 0.20, kunyari class, and this is 0.13. So how will you interpret this? On the average, the GPA of sophomore, the average GPA of sophomore students is more than 0.2 compared to the frosh students, ceteris paribus. So mas malaki yung yung average GPA ng sophomore by 0.2 compared to frosh. Let's say this is negative. Okay? On the average GPA of junior students, okay, are 0.10 lower than their frosh counterparts, ceteris paribus. Let's say significant siya, no? Significant at 5%. For example lang. Okay? So, ganun class, no? Meron pa tayong isa dito, di ba? Yung age group. How do we now interpret this? Ito. Here. Okay? So, remember, age group old. Ang benchmark natin, age group new. Okay? How do we interpret this? Although this is not statistically significant, no? But we're just taking a look at the interpretation. On the average, okay, houses that are old or those more than 50 years old are $0.448 cheaper, okay, or less in value compared to the age group uh, age group new, the houses that are less than 50 years old, ceteris paribus. However, it's not statistically significant, no? Wala tayong stars dito. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this one, class. So each of these here, class, notice, these are what we call, this is the result of your inferential statistics. Okay, anong test ang ginamit dito? T-test. Okay, T-test. Tapos, how do you know if it's significant? Dito sa probability. So if the probability is less than 5%, okay, then it is statistically significant. So tingnan nyo, class, yung mga probabilities natin dito. 0.001, okay? 0.001 then. This is 0.000004, 6 decimal places, no? So very, very small. So yung mga 3 stars, class, these are probabilities that are less than 0.001. Okay? Yung mga 2 stars, probabilities that are less than 0.1. Okay, wala tayong 1 star dito, no? The others, this 0.76 to, so hindi siya significant. This is 0.51, not significant. So, by the way, class, intercept, how do we interpret this? Okay, how do we interpret this? The intercept is the average value of your dependent variable, which is your median value of your residences. Okay, assuming that all your variables are equal to 0. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, zero crime, zone 0, okay? Zero in industry, zero yung NOx, zero yung RM, all of these are 0. Tapos ito nga pala class ha, 0 to, ibig sabihin class, 0 is, anong ibig sabihin nun? Okay? That does not bound Charles River and new residents, no? Less than 50 years old. So when you interpret the intercept, always, yung mga factors, always interpret it also as reference. Okay? Kasi ang sabi natin, ang intercept class, all 0. So kapag si CHAS1 is 0, ibig sabihin ng class, di ba? That's not bound Charles River. Okay? Itong age group 0, ibig sabihin ng class, yung new siya. New. Less than 50 years old yung house. Okay? So when I interpret this, 36.24 is the average median value of the house that has no crime, zero zone, zero induce, zero NOx, zero RM, all things 000. And then that is class that does not bound Charles River and that is less than 50 years old. So that's how you interpret class. Okay? How do you interpret the intercept? That's the median value of the residence. Okay? So here also worth very important to specify class that these are what we call individual tests, no? Individual t-test. So ito class, ang test, ang null hypothesis natin dito. Okay. So lahat to class may null hypothesis, no? B1, beta 1 is equal to 0. Ang alternative hypothesis natin, HO1, HA1 is that B1 is not equal to 0. Okay? So this is beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 hanggang lahat, no? So all of them will have their own individual t-test. Okay? Hypothesis. So ano yung hypothesis natin dito? We are hypothesizing that the beta 1 ito class. Okay, the marginal effect of crime on the median value of the house, yung dependent variable natin, it's equal to 0. Okay, we're saying that baka 0 to. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, walang effect si crime sa median value ng house. Anong conclusion natin? Since the p-value is less than 0.05, then we reject the null hypothesis that the effect of crime on median value is equal to 0. Okay? So, we reject the null hypothesis. No? I-reject natin to. Why? When do we reject class? Okay? Ang standard, ang usual ang ginagamit natin level of significance alpha, level of significance is 0.05. Okay, 5%. And the rule is, when the P, remember this, when the P is low, when the probability is low, what do you mean by low? It's less than 0.05. Then the null must go. Okay? Linagyan natin ng rhyming para madaling tandaan. When the P is low, the null must go. Ibig sabihin, reject the null. Take a look at this class. The P is less than 0.05. In fact, it's less than 0.1%. 1% pala. No? So what's our inference? We reject the null hypothesis that beta 1, which represents the parameter for crime, is equal to 0. We reject this. There's strong statistical reason to believe that the value of crime, effect of crime on median value of the houses is non-zero. In fact, this is the average value. Negative siya. Ibig sabihin, pag tumaas ang crime, bababa yung median value ng bahay. Okay. How about this class, NOx? What's the null hypothesis here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Beta 5. The null hypothesis is beta 5 is equal to 0. Alternative hypothesis, beta 5 is not equal to 0. Answer, class. Answer. We reject the null hypothesis that beta 5 is equal to 0. Okay, there's strong statistical reason to believe that the parameter beta 5 is non-zero. In fact, ang average value negative 17. Okay, so which means that a 1 unit increase in parts per million ng NOx will result into a reduction in the average median value ng price ng residence by it reduces by $17,35,000. Okay, ang laki ng effect, no? Of all the ito ang pinakamalaking effect, yung presence ng nitric oxide. Okay, so let me pause for a while. I think I've been talking too much already. Pause muna ako, class. May I know, class, if okay, how is it so far, class? Clear so far? Okay, good. How about the others, please? Okay. If you have questions, class, please, kasi I know this is just a bit of a review because you already had several subjects in your statistics before, but I hope we're digging deeper and we're using it in the context of R, no? Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me now. Okay. Okay, how about this one, class? Ito. What's this? What's this, class? So, okay, 400 residual standard error. This is just like the standard error of your residuals. Okay, what are residuals, class, by the way? Residuals are your errors, no? Okay, asan yung mga errors, class? Tingnan natin yung full model natin. Let's go here. Okay, it's a list, no? Yan, consisting of several outputs. Isa dyan, class, dito yung residuals, ito. Residuals. Click natin to. Yan. This is observation number 1. The residual is negative 5.811. So where did this come from? Okay, where did this come from? Okay, it came from, class. It came from our, okay, let's just quickly take a look at this. Oops. DF natin. Okay. Sorry, before I go here, class, we can now create our model. Ano yung model natin? Our model is now, okay, sulat natin model natin. Okay, the median value of your house, med V, this is our variable, di ba? Sub I. Sub I here refers to the different observations, observation 1, etc. It's equal to beta null. What's your beta null? Yung intercept natin, 36.24. I'll just put it at 2 decimal places. And then minus, ito, class. This is our beta 1. Minus 0.1. I'll just put it to 2 decimal places, class, times cream. Okay? And then here, also statistically significant, plus 0.0404 times zone plus indus. Indus is not significant, class, so I'm not going to include that in the model. Okay, this one, class, plus, okay, 2.7 times chas. Okay, the variable class is chas, no? It's not chas1. Okay, so I'm writing the variable itself, not the level, not chas1, chas, or chas0. 2.7 chas. Okay, what will happen here, class? If it's bounding, if an observation is not bounding Charles River, then this becomes zero, right? Kasi not bounding, zero to, so mawawala ito. If it's bounding Charles River, this will become 1. So 2.7, class, will be added to the median value. So that's what this means, class. 2.7 means that the one bounding the Chas River is 2.7 thousand dollars more than their not bounding counterparts, and that can be and that is affected by this portion of the equation. Remember, Chas, class, is 0 or 1. Pag 0 siya, class, not bounding. So pag pinalitan natin ng 0 to, then mawawala to, class. If it's bounding, then this becomes 1. Then madadagdag siya dun sa median value. Okay? And then minus uh, 17.35, okay? 17.35 times NOx, no? Times NOx, okay? Etc. class, etc. No? Hanggang sa dulong-dulo, so that's negative 0.45, again, age group, age underscore group, okay? And then plus your residual, epsilon sub I. Okay? So this is now your model class. Okay, ito includes all the significant predictors. Yan, ito yung intercept. Okay, by the way, class, yung intercept, it's highly significant. Now, even if the intercept turns out to be not significant, kailangan isama pa rin siya. So in practice, the intercept is included in the model regardless of whether it's significant or not. The others that are not significant, class, tinatanggal siya, no? It's not included. All right. Now, notice here may epsilon tayo dito, class. Bakit? Kasi, class, this is your actual value. Okay? And this is your model value. So your actual value, more or less, class, will not be the same as your predicted value. Okay? This is your predicted value. The value that you get here, class, is obtained by using our regression model. So, yung difference, class, between your actual value and your predicted value is accounted for by your residual. Kunyari, class, observation number 1, ang median value na 10. Tapos si predicted value, class, lumabas na 9.6. Okay, so magkaiba sila, class. So hindi magiging equal yan. Ito 10, ito 9.6. So this is where the 0.4 comes in. Okay, yung difference ng actual at saka yung predicted is accounted for by your residual. Okay? Now you can also write it this way. Is it possible for this one, class, ito? Possible ba na maging equal sila? Ito, tatanggalin ko to, class. Possible, class, ba na yung actual value will be equal to your predicted value? In some cases, perhaps. But if I want, class, if I want this to be equal really, I'm going to put here a hat. Yan, hat, class. Okay, ano yung hat na yan, class? Hat means predicted value. So here, median value hat is equal to this, the amount here, class. Kasi ito, class, yung predicted value to eh. By putting the hat here means this is your predicted value, this is your predicted value. So equal siya. Okay? Pause muna ako, class. Clear ba yung class? Yung pag-generate ng model natin, ng equation natin, ng regression model natin. Kindly chat, please, class. Tapos yung what this hat means. Waiting for your confirmation, class. Okay, good. How about the others? Okay, thank you. Good. Walang questions, ha? Clear? Okay. So let's just take a look at the last part, no? Nitong model natin. Delete ko muna yung drawing. Okay, take a look at this class. Residual standard, di ko pa pala na-discuss yung isa. Sorry, I was about to go there. Nakalimutan ko. Here, class. DF. Okay. Median value ito, class. So for the first observation, the median value is 24. No? 24. How much is the predicted value? Saan natin makikita yon? Dito sa full model natin. No? Ito class yung fitted values ito. Here. Fitted value. Ito class yung model value natin. In other words, yung equation natin kanina, if we substituted the values, okay, if we substituted the values to that model class, we will be getting this one, 29.8. Okay, 29.8, that's the predicted value. What is the actual value? Actual value is 24. Predicted value, 29.8. So, ano yung difference nila? The residual class will be your actual value, okay? So, actual value, med V actual value, minus your predicted value, med V, median value, sub I. This will be equal to your residual sub I. Actual minus predicted, actual is 24. Minus, yung predicted natin class for this observation number 1 is 29.8. Diba? Where did I get that class here? Where did I get that? Here, sa full model natin. Here. Yan, fitted that values class. Ilagay ko na lang dito class para kasi bumabalik ako lagi eh. Okay? Okay, let me remove my annotation first. Here class. Okay. I want to get class the first 6 observation. So head, knee, okay? Yung object natin class yung full model. This is our object, full underscore model. Okay? Dollar class, dollar. Yan. If I want to get the elements kay full model class ito. No? Yan, kay fitted value. Okay? And I'm going just to print the first 6 observations. Yan. Ito class yung mga fitted value. Okay? I-round ko lang sa dalawa class ha. Sorry. Okay, round 2 decimal places lang. Round 2 decimal places. Tapos class, isa side by side natin siya sa DF natin. Okay? Dollar sign kay medv. Asa na si medv ito? Medv. Okay? Then head. All right. 6 values. Okay, take a look at this class. I'm just comparing. Tapos, sama na rin natin yung isa. Sorry. Sama na rin natin. Copy ko to, class. Control C. Control V. dollar, ito, residuals class. No? So, kukunin ko si fitted values, residuals. Okay? Okay, mga first six observations sila. Head 6, head 6. Okay? Control enter. Okay, there you go, class. Tingnan natin, ha? Okay. Actual value class, MEDV, 24. Okay? Predicted value, 29.8. Residual, negative 5.1. Diba? Actual minus predicted is equal to residual. And this will check class. 21.6 minus 24.3. Dapat inuna ko si MEDV, ano? Is equal to negative 3.23. So naman class, 34.7 actual. Predicted 30.39. 34 minus 30, 4 point something, etc. So you can see here, class, yung mga values ng regression model natin, all contained in this full model list. Okay? Lahat siya, class. Lahat siya. Okay, once again, class, kindly please chat in the chat box kung nakukuha, class, naintindihan yung lesson natin so far, class. Okay, just in case you want this, class, no? Copy nyo na lang yung code nito. Kung gusto nyo yung ano, for those of you who were not able to yan, class, no? Siyempre, pag kinopy yan sa console, sa ano, class, sa script window, tatanggalin niyo yung mga greater than sign, ha? Okay. I think it would have been good na inuna ko muna si actual, no? Tapos si fitted, tapos yung residual para hindi na ako tumatalon-talon. Okay, good. Ito, class, no? Ang tayo nga ba? Malapit na. Ang bilis ng oras. Ito, class. Let's discuss this. Saan ang galing itong degrees of freedom? How many degrees of freedom, class? Can you count, class, how many predictors? How many predictors, no? Cream, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, no? Hindi natin sinama si age, ha? So, 13. How many observations do we have? Ilan yung DF natin? How many observations, class? Ilan yung data natin? You have 506. 506. Okay? Okay, minus, so number of observations n minus k. K refers to n. Our n, class, is n row ADF. Okay? Tapos, class, I'll call this n row, no? N underscore number of observations. Tapos uh, number of predictors. N column of DF. N columns natin, class, but we will have to remove si med, tatanggalin natin to kasi hindi naman predictor siya, at saka si age. So minus 2 to, no? Minus 2. And then lastly, n minus k. Okay. I'll call this k. K. I'll call this n. All right. And then uh, degree of freedom. N minus k minus 1. Okay. Tingnan nyo to, class, no? Run natin. Okay. Dapat linagyan ko class ng parenthesis para i-print niya. Bilis sa oras. Okay. Share ko sa inyo to class. Okay. N, number of rows class. Number of observations. K is number of columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why did I subtract 2 class? Kasi tinanggal ko si median value kasi predictor yan, di ba? Sino pa tinanggal ko class? Si age. Okay? Di ba hindi natin ginamit si age as predictor? Then degree of freedom class is n minus k minus 1. Number of observations minus number of predictors minus 1. Bakit minus 1 class? Kasi we will have to subtract to the degree of freedom because we're also estimating the intercept. Ba? Kasi sinama natin si intercept sa pag-compute, so dapat ima-minus natin siya. And if you run this class, control enter, there you go. 506 observations, 13 predictors, degree of freedom 1 is 492. So tingnan natin class yung result natin dito. Here. Doon nang galing to class itong 492 na to. Okay? N minus K minus 1. N is the number of observations. K is the number of predictors. 1 is kasama yung intercept sa pag-subtract. No? So ito class. So I'll just end here class. Multiple R squared, adjusted R squared. Ano ibig sabihin itong multiple R squared na 74%? Okay? Ibig sabihin niyan class, yung minomodel natin si okay, si median value. Okay? Ito si median value class. Okay. We're trying to look at the variance. Yung variance ni median value class. Okay? Yung variance niya. And this one tells us that, okay, 74% nitong variation ni MEDV, ng dependent variable natin, 74%, okay, can be explained by our model. Ibig sabihin, mga 26% ang hindi natin kayang explain. Okay? So technically, the higher the multiple R squared is, the better. Okay, but we will refine that definition next time. Ngayon, ito meron pang adjusted R squared, 73.4. So this is the one that's most important to us. So we can say that 73.4% yung mas gagamitin natin, yung adjusted R squared, instead of the R squared lang. 73.4% of the variation of the variability of MEDV, yung dependent variable natin, can be explained by our model. Ano yung model natin? Yung nasa taas, di ba? Yung cream, etc. Yun. Okay? Alright. Anong time na ba? Okay. Itong last na lang class, if you need to go, okay lang. Tapusin ko lang to class, ha? And lastly, class, may isa pa tayong test sa model natin. Ito na lang, no? F-stat 108.2 on 13 and 492 degrees of freedom. Yung 13, alam natin to, class. Degree of freedom 1 is K. This is the number of predictors. 492, alam rin natin to, class. Ito. This is our, sa F test class, degree of freedom 1, yan o, dalawang degree of freedom, di ba? Yung degree of freedom 1 is the number of predictors. Degree of freedom 2 is your n minus k minus 1. And the p-value is less than 0.05. Okay? So ano to, class? F-stat to. So may null hypothesis to, class. Take note. Anong null hypothesis dyan? Sulat ko lang quickly. Ang null hypothesis dito, okay? So this is the goodness of fit test. Is beta 1 is equal to beta 2. Lahat ng mga predictors natin, no? Dot is equal to hanggang beta 13, they're all equal to 0. Okay? So this is called your overall goodness of fit test. Yung nasa taas yung t-test, individual yung test natin dun. Ito, class, sabay-sabay lahat. We're saying that all of them are all equal to 0. And the p-value class is very, very small. No? 0.0000000, 15 tapos 2. So that's practically, of course, that's less than 0.05. Therefore, this is our null hypothesis. Ang alternative hypothesis natin is that at least one of them is not equal to 0. So anong conclusion natin? We reject the null hypothesis that all your parameters are all equal to 0. We have strong statistical reason to believe that at least one of them is not equal to 0. And true enough, marami nga di ba? Maraming hindi equal to 0. Okay? So, I'll end here, class. So notice, class, yung regression output natin, dalawang set ng test yan. Individual t-test, individual ng mga predictors natin. Okay? Tinest natin to individually, and also here, overall goodness of fit test, combined test. Okay? So that in a nutshell, class, is the result of the regression model. If you're able to attend on Wednesday, class, itutuloy natin to. And then I'm going to discuss stepwise regression. Okay? So I hope you can join us next Wednesday, 2:30, no? 2:30.